Good grief. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Happy hump day. Oh my God, we're halfway through. I have to tell you guys something. Sometimes when I do these little mini episodes, like today, I'm playing kind of like podcast roulette, and whatever is going to come out of my mouth is going to come out of my mouth. So I must be channeling somebody who needs to listen to this episode, because that's what's happening right now. Like, that's the vibe we're in, is just going with the moment and the flow. And feeling it this week. It's the last week that my kids are home for the summer. And it also somehow seems to be the most stressful week, which probably is like a mind over matter situation, and it's not really that stressful. Thank God the kids were in camp this year, because I made it through the summer without a nervous breakdown, which in my book is a bonus. That might sound a little crazy to some of you, but like, reality is, it is what it is, and I like to be transparent about that. Last summer it was rough, but this week in particular, the way that I had mapped out the weeks that the kids didn't have camp was I would take half days, 2 days a week while my husband was working, and then he would take the second half of the week and be home, so it wouldn't be as much pressure on me. This week, he had to work additional days, and he has to travel one of the days, and so it's all sitting with me, and I didn't anticipate that, so I'm not as prepared. And today, I had a solid block of 6 hours of calls and things that I needed to be on. So it was definitely a challenge to have to be mindful, because like, they're children and they're humans and they need to eat. And so having to keep an eye on the time to pay attention to my team, that balance is very difficult. One thing I would like to complain about today, and I haven't done this in a while, when you're in married life, there's going to be things that pop up that are like, this is irritating. Like, this is a problem. And today was one of those days where I was feeling really stressed. As I just said, I was already like kind of tangled up. And my husband came home and wasn't feeling well. Had a migraine. I get migraines, so I'm very sensitive to this kind of stuff. And I like to be mindful, because I'm like, when I have a migraine, I take medicine, I roll, but like, I'm sensitive to others for it. So he came home, bad mood, migraine, and it was about 5:04, and I was still on a conference call. And the great thing started. Now, usually you guys have heard me before, I always put my husband up on a pedestal, because he is actually truly amazing. But like most husbands, and I think all of our husbands, of course they're amazing. We married them. We know we love them for whatever reason why we married them. That's a given. But it doesn't mean that there's not irritation. Same with him to me. I am certain. I can see it on his face when I'm being annoying to him. So he comes home from work, kind of, he was holding it together, but I could just sense that he was feeling off and he wasn't doing well. And then, I'm on this conference call and it's wrapping up, but it's not quite there yet. And I start to get the look, like, what's happening? Are you going to make dinner? What do we need to do here? Do we need to order food? But I didn't have the capacity to be like, hold on, and sort of deal with all of that. And that little like line of pressure where you kind of have somebody just like making little comments like off to the side. I think that those are the moments that most women are like, if I was put before a judge today after murdering somebody, they would probably be cool with it. And I like to highlight this and also laugh about it, because this is everybody. There are moments for every single human out there with a partner where that partner fails to, rise to the occasion, or that partner does something annoying, or the partner, isn't helpful and actually adds more stress to the situation. This is a given. It just is. There is no perfection. Please, for God's sakes, don't go down the rabbit hole of, well, so-and-so on social media did X, Y, and Z, or so-and-so on social media has this beautiful life, like, why isn't my life like this? And so-and-so's husband is always sending her flowers, or whatever the case is. I can guarantee you the grass is not greener on the other side. In these moments where I feel like I might choke someone out, I won't. But if I feel like it, I also do take a breath, because I'm not usually that easily irritated. So I usually will take a breath and think to myself, like, what's your deal? Like, Jen, just calm down. Like, you were stressed today. Yes, it's fine. And I start kind of like trying to get myself together so that I'm not sending off a bad vibe. Because if I start to get worked up, then he's going to get more worked up. You see where I'm going with this? Like, we feed off each other. You feed off your partner and vice versa. This is how it works. And so I actually took a minute and was like, hold on a minute. Like, why am I getting so irritated? Like, why am I flipping out? Like, I know I had a stressful day, but usually I can balance this really well. Like, what the hell is going on? And then I made the aha moment. My cycle is gearing up again to start, and I'm due September 9th. I'm a week out. Boom. This is my week where I'm usually enraged and I'm usually very tired. And I usually eat a lot of carbs this week. It is what it is. But my point with sharing all this is that if you take a step back and look at the reality of the situation, I even said to my husband, because he's like, I feel off. We communicate a lot. And so he said, and he was like, I feel off today. And I was like, you have some stress on your plate. You don't feel good. You had a migraine. Your cholesterol went like way up because you forgot to take your medicine. We have visitors coming and you're preparing for that, so you're stressed about that. All these outside factors are going to feed into how you're feeling because it's pulling you in a few other different directions. That's going to impact you. It's going to make you feel off. And then it's going to make you respond differently to your family. I flipped out on my kids. Not flip out, but I yelled at them earlier because I'm like, you guys are all asking me for something. I only have 15 minutes. I was like, I'm trying really hard, but I only have 15 minutes to get you X, Y, and Z. Please just bear with me. It is what it is. You have to be able to communicate and pivot and roll with it. So while today was stressful and I still have things that I have to get to, I'm also really grateful that it's Wednesday because that means we're halfway there. We're getting towards that end of the week, that golden end. For everyone in the U.S., we have a holiday coming up on Monday, so we get to have a much needed day to relax, maybe? No, not for me, but for maybe somebody else. I also wanted to give everyone a heads up. This week airing were 3 guest episodes. So this past weekend was pretty heavy duty in terms of recording. And I had 3 recordings, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. So on the 25th, I aired the episode Navigating Fertility Challenges with Erica Hoke. Really, really inspiring story. This woman was told she only has a 1% chance to conceive. And she moved on to have children and happy, healthy life. And now she's helping other people do the same. So I do highly recommend her episode. She had some really decent information. I do want you guys to know I do fact check. And I do look into people before they're guests on the podcast because I want to be delivering the quality people that you need. This is one of those people. Elizabeth Kipp was my evening recording on Saturday. And for goodness sakes, hang for the whole episode or skip ahead. I don't care. The part that you need to hear that's most important to me that you hear is actually at the very end because she does a cleansing right in the podcast. I didn't know she was going to do that. And so there's a brief moment at the end where she does a full cleansing. You can see the video too on YouTube. And I actually bow my head so I can take it in for real. I'm going to book a session with her to do a full cleansing because this spiritual cleansing was so powerful. My whole aura lifted after the call. It was the wildest thing. So I want to strong recommend there. Now, in the next episode that's going to be released is on Friday, Gaslighting to Advocacy with Rebecca Lyons. This is cool. So Rebecca is a really amazing individual. She was a corporate person, and she's transitioned to entrepreneur. She's developing an app that basically helps share decision-making. In a nutshell, it's going to help women pull together notes, pull together their information, pull together symptoms, to inform their next doctor's appointment. This is a really big deal. Women's health it's insufferable, really, in my opinion. This is going to be something that's really going to help a lot of us. So tune in for the Friday episode. They're all long-ish. They're all about 45 minutes, but try to get there. You can watch it on YouTube too if you want to have that running in the background while you're doing chores or whatever. But really good episodes for this week. And then this coming weekend, I do have 2 more lives. So I have here, I can get you the updated information. The lives you can watch on YouTube and you can watch it on LinkedIn. Let's see here. On Saturday, I'm meeting with Karen Diggs from 7 to 8 p.m. And Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m., I'm meeting with Mary Walter. Tune in. You can listen to it live or you can catch the episodes when they air the following week. Live feeds are always going to be on YouTube for you now, so you can check out the videos and if you want to watch the full interview. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. I really, really do. We're getting there. Fall is almost upon us. I'm super excited. Thank you for tuning in this week. Thank you for hanging out with me here. Shout out to my listeners in Vietnam. Thank you for showing up the way you've been doing. Totally awesome. I'm super excited about having you guys with me. And shout out to Peru, because in Peru, Steel Rose's podcast is very close to nearing the top 200 podcast list in Peru. So big, big, big shout out to everybody. Thank you all for so much for all of your support. Thank you for being here with me today, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.